Hey, Killface. Just updating the YouTube infos. Hi, Jay. There we go. How's my day? Meh. Meh. When I went to the Goshis, when I went to do my Goshis, the hot food counter wasn't working. There was nothing at the hot food counter. I guess the hot food counter wasn't working. So I had to order my supper instead. And that's... I ordered... I ordered chicken wings and potato wedges from Pizza Pizza. Yes, Pizza Pizza. I ordered chicken wings and potato wedges from Pizza Pizza. Which is not Little Caesars. It is a Canadian pizza chain. So, truly an exciting day. Love Pizza Pizza. I don't find their pizza particularly great. Garlic dip is best. Like, honestly, I don't find their pizza to be particularly great. I've had worse, but it feels like sort of lowest common denominator chain pizza. Nostalgic for me. I used to eat a lot of it back when I was a few years ago. Because I used to live like really close by to Pizza Pizza. Or no, it's 2 for 1 I live near. Never mind. Pizza Pizza I wasn't. Pizza Pizza I didn't eat a lot of. Hey Vanna. It's 2 for 1. 2 for 1 pizza. That I actually used to live like really close to. Come to think of it, I did eat a lot. Chantal used to order Pizza Pizza a lot. Back when, like, the first time that we were living together. And hello, Vanna. Always nice to see you. And for like 2 years. Even longer for me. Because basically what it was open late and could be ordered online. So Chantal used to regularly just go on there and order a pizza at like Midnight. Hey, Comic Book. It was a thing for her. I actually kind of broke her once, because I have her spontaneous homoerotic musical numbers. They're not all homoerotic, Comic Book. Last week's musical number was romantic, heterosexual romantic, one. Like, last week's wasn't homoerotic at all. Between Hecate and Asterius. Yeah, that one was a love song. That one was like a romance song between two straight people. What does that say about me? That you think straight couples are gay? That you think anyone who sings is gay? That you think anyone who sings is at least kind of a little gay? Which you might not be wrong. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, I don't remember what it is we gotta do this week. We gotta talk to people. I don't remember who it is we need to talk to this week. There was the homoerotic song that we did with Persephone, though. I honestly thought everyone in this music was gay. I mean, at least a little bit. Bi. Everyone in this is probably bi. I suspect that, like, everyone in this is some kind of queer. Anyway, the important thing is, last time, we got Asterion and Hecate together. It was super cute. I think we also let Aphrodite die last week. We let Aphrodite commit suicide. So, there was that. And we had an exceptionally homoerotic number with Persephone. I'm still finding myself torn between Persephone and our best friend Freddy. Because Freddy's great. Freddy's adorable. Like, Freddy's just so adorable that Hecate, like, we met Hecate and she was ready to just fucking murk us both. And then Freddy started talking and was like, ah, I see. This one must be protected. It is written. Oh, I think we also got a few clues about what happened with Calliope. The clues don't all make sense yet. Someone else talk now? Apparently I'm gonna be the only one talking tonight. I mean, that's how it always goes with the gaming streams, though. That's how it, like, any time I'm doing a game on stream, I'm the only one talking. Chat is always so weirdly quiet. Hey, Vanna. 93? $62? I was hoping Jordan would come in at least so I could wish her an early birthday. Hopefully she does stop in at some point during this stream. Is a 62-year age gap acceptable? I mean, depends on the ages involved. You know, like, $25 and $87? Sure, what do I fucking care? What the hell do I care? Sure, she'll be along. Hope so. Yeah, $25 and $87, what do I care? Go ahead. As long as the older partner has money, I'm okay with it. That's it. As long as the older partner has money, then I'm okay with a 62-year age gap. You know, marry that older person and take that inheritance when they die. Anyways, may as well get going again. Hey, Habibi. Alright, so we need to confront Medusa, but let's see what happens if we talk to Freddy first. I want to talk to Freddy first, just to see...
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse?
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having.
Well, I went to a party held by the goddess of love, and she died.
Man, I always miss the really good parties. Here I was, sitting at home, just reading a book. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
Ooh, high priestess. She wants to be my high priestess. Wow. If anyone in this musical is gay, I'm out of here. Hey, Scriptgoat. Hey, Scriptgoat. So we've got a bit of a conflict here. Comic Book says everyone's gay. Habibi wants no one to be gay.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
Oh, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Then where is Kaz Oh.
Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
That was so cute. He's sometimes gay, sometimes... That was so fucking cute. That that moment of realization was great. I love that moment of realization. Oh, they're gay together. They were roommates. I do love that realization of they were roommates.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two,
sounds good.
We get back to it, and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace,
Hey.
You can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
Fair. That's fair. Also, it's a great name. Edge of Elysium. Edge of Elysium is a great name for a band. I gotta say, I like that name. Myself and everyone being bi. That's my motto anyway. Yep.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so
You
you
color
have
purple.
real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline. Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
National Enquirer.
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
Freddy is always right. I'm so gay it should still be criminal. Officially Hindu. Congratulations, Habibi.
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddy?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's gotta be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Yeah, let's ask about a Calliope.
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9. Though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of
HHM.
epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Yep, I did know
Wow.
that.
I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
I'm down with the, I'm glad you made it, HHM. Leaving for work, Scapegoat? Aw. That sucks. Skip work. Skip work, watch me. You should just skip work to spend time here. Scapegoat. Anyway, I am now choosing to believe that Calliope did, in fact, lead the ancient Greeks in elaborate choreographed dance numbers. That was absolutely a thing. I would walk 63 to 92 miles, and I would walk 64 to 64 more. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. I like that song. That's a good song.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like
Fair.
that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Yeah, they weren't all like that. Scottish song. Indeed, Scottish. Yeah, Apollo was sort of infamous for his... I did watch My Betting Habibi. I actually did watch it. Tuesday night. I watched it on Tuesday night.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, I guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on brand for her, then.
I mean, fair. Wise, but a bitch. Yeah, I did watch My Betting, so, it's good for another 8 months now. Hey, what a girl. So yeah, it should be good for another 8 months now. Yeah. Right? Right? It's, every 8 months you wash your bedding, right? Every 8 to 12 months.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well,
There.
she is pretty pissed. That much is true.
Poor Persephone. Song you're singing Scottish? I know HHM. I know it's Scottish. I know the Proclaimers are Scottish. Twice that for jeans. Yeah. I can't think of numbers anymore. If live cells can promote the production of collagen, do live cells improve the fabric of the sheets? I don't know.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Sounds like a good time.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
Alright, I like Freddy being a bit of a troll about that. The Kid Leroy. The Kid Leroy. I have no idea who that is, Abidi. Your average fertility goddess. So either one of my grandmothers. Hi-yo. So yeah, Pan is the god of good times. I mean, Dionysus is actually the god of good times.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Huh.
Me, I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
I mean, she's not... Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the big Olympian gods are gone. Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, Dionysus. Artemis. But the only Olympians still there are Athena, Apollo, and Aphrodite, but not anymore. Hope we see Kelly Clarkson since you've been gone.
You think there might be other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all
Good
the
times.
other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? All those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
Yeah, that's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Nope.
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
Yay, mysteries! I mean, if I'm solving mysteries, I should be bringing Freddy along, shouldn't I? I can be the Daphne to her Fred. Am I considering flying out business class to Kelly Clarkson's Swedish tour? I am not. Kelly Clarkson is not my style of music. let's talk to Persephone. Let's see if we can talk to Persephone real quick first. See if she's willing to talk.
Back from your visit to the reliquary?
How did you know I was there?
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules. Let's hope what you learned was worth it.
Oh, that's...
Medusa was at the reliquary that night. You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
Yes. As a Celt Viking, even I'm humbled by the Greeks. Yeah. Mysteries. Magical mystery tour. Would I ever fly somewhere business class? Sure, why not? I don't care.
You think I shouldn't? How else will I find out why she was there?
There's always a way, Grace. Asking someone directly isn't the only method. Still, while I hate to say it, confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door. Just lie to me and say you'll be careful. On a different matter, I've had time to do some thinking. After Aphrodite's party, we never really spoke about the Eidolon and Calliope's memories. No doubt you have many questions.
Apollo told me a little about it. He did say I should talk to you, though.
Did he now? Is there anything you'd like to ask?
I can't watch. I'm playing this.
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
First, you'll have dreams. Places you've never been, people you've never met. But unlike with normal dreams, these will linger. Then they will come while you're awake. Sudden flashes or snippets of déjà vu. And sometimes it will seem so real you'll swear you're hallucinating. If there's anything difficult about the process, is that it becomes hard to differentiate between your life and all these other lives you're now recalling.
It does sound confusing.
Confusing and often unpleasant, as not all the memories will be fond ones. But that will pass in time.
You said it becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Oh, how do I explain this? Grace, would you say that you are who you are because of your experiences? The things you've lived and done?
I guess so, sure.
Well, all the things Calliope
Partly.
has done, and those before her, will now be yours. They will feel like a part of your life as well. Thus, they can't help but shape you. The Grace that is now will be and will have done so much more. Fortunately, you don't have to deal with every memory. Each time the Eidolon passes on, the oldest memories fade, and that helps.
Wait,
I don't know.
how is it good that old memories start to fade?
Think of how old we are, Grace. If all those memories returned to you with perfect clarity, they would destroy you.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Well, far more than we remember. The further I think back, the more it becomes a bit of a blur, actually. You'll recall important moments. Some will be mixed up with the stories mortals tell, and you won't be sure which is the memory and which is the story.
Confusing.
An idol's memory is a series of islands in a dark ocean, and they become smaller and smaller as they recede into the horizon. It sounds dire, but you become accustomed to it. It just takes time, and now you have all the time in the world.
Weirdly not comforting.
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
We call it passing on. I've lost track of just how many times I've passed on my Eidolon. A dozen? It's happened less often in more recent eras.
And the one you told me about, the woman married to that gangster, she was the most recent?
I don't think of chastity as a she. That was me, just as the one my husband blasted with a shotgun was also me. It was one of the few times I wasn't able to prepare my successor. We were friends, yes, but I didn't know what Persephone was. and I had no idea what I'd just become.
That must have been difficult.
It was more difficult taking over my dead husband's territory. Women weren't often mobsters in those days.
Yeah, but being a goddess probably helped. If I've blocked you. Aw. Sorry, Killface. I'm sorry she blocked you.
Were you really a gangster? I've heard it said, but it sounds...
I mean, actually
Let me put
very
it this
believable.
way. I felt as if I'd been blessed by a dying woman who saved me from a prison of my own making. I didn't know what I was, but I was free. I felt more alive than I'd ever felt before, and strong enough to toss an ox 10 feet. Did I
Nice.
set out to become a mobster? Not exactly. My husband's friends thought I'd murdered him, however, so they came after me. And one thing led to another.
Oh, I see.
Accidental mob boss.
Athena found me just as my memories were starting to return. I wasn't permitted to continue doing something so noticeable, so
Aw.
I was carted off to Olympus.
Aw, shame.
It's too bad, really. I was an excellent mobster.
I can believe it. She seems like an excellent mobster. I can absolutely believe Persephone is a mobster.
Wait, you said that Persephone passed on her eidolon as she lay dying. What if she had just died?
The Eidolon will keep us alive for a time, even in the most horrific circumstances, in hopes that there's someone to pass it on to.
What if there isn't? What if Chastity had died before you were shot?
Then the line of Persephone would have ended then and there. Oh, there are some stories that say an Eidolon will go wandering, that it never really dies. And who knows if there's any truth to that. It's not exactly something we've had the opportunity to study. All we know is that many idols have left us forever. They've died, and that's how it happens.
That's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Either the trial will end poorly, in which case all of this is moot, or it will end well, and you will have plenty of time to digest.
Yeah, thanks for the update.
I'm a realist, Grace. It's what I'm best at. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
Wanna make out? Apparently I can't ask if she wants to make out.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And?
And if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never
Hey.
thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
If you disliked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
She sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to
Persephone's
stay,
a
she
bitch.
said. She wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it.
Aw.
What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
She's so bitter, it's great. Oh, good night, HHM. I have no idea what's going on between Killface and HHM here. We, I don't think either of them know what's going on either. I don't think either of you know what's going on between you right now.
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, well, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Good rant.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Aww. So Calliope was kind of a bitch.
What happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
One of them was, though not like you think. The day we were to leave on the ship, Talia simply never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never heard from her again. Apollo thrashed about in mourning, but Talia had been fading away for years. It wasn't a surprise to the rest of us.
What about the other muse, Cleo?
Died long before. A victim at the hands of a mortal man, when she no longer possessed the power to bedazzle him. As I understand it, he kept her in a cage as a pet until her eidolon shriveled up and perished. He was dead before she was.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
It is?
Yes, well, we come by our wariness of mortals honestly, Grace.
I can understand that. Side note, Cleo was the muse of history, Talia was the muse of comedic poetry, comedy. Talia was the muse of comedy.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. Was there something before her? How did she get her eidolon? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
Makes sense. That sounds pretty reasonable to me, actually.
Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however.
Yeah, aliens are
we have
the
many.
weird part.
And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you.
Hey, alien tourist.
The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. That's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and Not one of us knows why or how.
Weird. That is strange. What'd you just say about it? Grace is wondering if the idols are aliens. And Persephone thinks that's ridiculous.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery. Near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back.
Suspicious.
My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained.
Curious.
Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
I can understand. Yeah, I can see that. 1,000 years? We're forgetting 1,000 years? That
Tell
would
me
be
more
worrying.
about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
That's putting it mildly.
From Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
Honestly, after my mother was murdered, I barely remember.
Your mother?
Her name was Demeter. Not truly my mother, but an idol who had always cared for me since the early days. I thought we'd be together forever.
Aw.
Then Ares brought those filthy bastards down on us. Demeter was slain by bullets. By bullets. Until that day, I had believed we were untouchable.
Why would Ares do that? Did he get anything out of it in the end, or...
He got war.
What he got was a final death. A few of us hunted him down and made sure he paid for his betrayal. He choked on his own blood. As for why he did it, who knows? He thought us a lost cause. He wanted glory. He wanted more than we had, living in secret. After that, I don't know. We went from hiding place to hiding place. I didn't even know what Hephaestus had done for us when I found myself on a boat. We might have been gods once, but after the war, we were just refugees, like so many others, fleeing to a distant land.
That's rough.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the New World? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't the place that was hard, it was the fear. We knew we were vulnerable. We knew mortals could and would kill us. Suddenly, there were rules. We had to be secret. We had to stay close together. We huddled in the shadows and quaked each time the mortals so much as breathed in our direction. We couldn't all live that way. Some of us drifted away, faded into the night without so much as an explanation. That's what's been the hard part. Our inevitable decline in a place where we don't belong. We can pass on our eidolons as often as we like, but it will never truly be home.
Maybe in a few thousand years.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just...
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
that, yeah.
I mean...
One might think that my
yes.
hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it.
That was pretty common.
I hated
back
my
then.
brothers and sisters for letting it happen. But Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. One that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned, that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small.
Yeah.
I slowly realized
That's a
that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
It's an abusive
That's when I
relationship.
killed him. Yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
She's so proud of it. She seems so proud of the fact that she did it. It's like, hell yeah, I did it. I did it. Yeah, I like that whole... That is how abusive relationships work. Yep.
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? Would lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive?
Yeah.
No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
Persephone's awesome.
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
Had to
I
discover
won it in a
something.
bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow.
Yeah.
I was successful.
That's Dionysus.
The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Nice.
Sucks to be him.
Nice.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
Oh, hey, Dionysus is alive. Dionysus is apparently alive and then just permanently drunk because, yeah, that's Dionysus. He is just the god of good times.
What's the deal between you and Apollo? The way you two fight.
I've told you how he and the other idols stood by and let me rot with Hades, did I not?
It seems more personal than that.
Okay, there's an old saying that no one escapes the underworld. But that's not true. I did. Once. Not long after Hades kidnapped me. I was homesick, and I missed my mother. Charon took pity on me and allowed me across the Styx. And after that, Grace, I waded through darkness itself to get out of there. Hades chased after me relentlessly, but I evaded him, right up until I got to the very slopes of Olympus. And who do you suppose was the first idol I met?
Uh-oh.
Apollo stood there. I cried out to him, begging him not to let Hades take me, and yet Apollo did as he has always done. Absolutely nothing. Hades was thrilled, and I knew then and there I could never rely on my so-called family for anything, ever again.
That's all I can think of for now.
Friggin' Apollo.
I'll see you around.
Oh yes, that's where I'll be, around.
Friggin' Apollo. And yeah, that's, how can she be so hot but silly? Who? Persephone? Persephone's not lame. Persephone's awesome. Anyway, yeah. So, nearly an hour in. Haven't gotten to a song yet this episode. Yeah, let's just do a quick read through updates from the journal. Okay, that was unexpected. Freddy and I went to the reliquary, not expecting much, and instead we found out from Asterion that Calliope went there the night she died. Not only that, it's probably where she was attacked. She fled from the reliquary, bleeding, and probably went from there to my apartment. It's bizarre, though. What was she even doing there? Asterion said that, while she snuck into the reliquary, she didn't actually take anything. She set off the alarms and then ran out, chased by Asterion. And Medusa, too? This is really major. How will I find out what happened to her inside? Persephone told me a little bit how Calliope came to her at the Underworld. How at first Calliope was just a singing act, but eventually they warmed up to each other, until Calliope's lofty expectations became too much. I'm willing to bet Persephone had just as much to do with their parting ways, but it sounds like, for a while, they were indeed close. Persephone finally explained what her real beef with Apollo was about. Once, she escaped from the underworld with Hades hot on her heels, and when she finally got to Olympus, the idol she ran into was Apollo, and he did nothing. I'm trying to imagine what it would have been like to be dragged away by his smug Hades while the brother you thought would help, who had to know how desperate you were, just stood there and let it happen. I can't help but wonder if that's the entire story, but even so, it all makes sense now. Do I have Discord? I do not have Discord. Asterion mentioned that Athena came to the reliquary the day after Calliope died. Tipped off by Medusa, maybe? Or by Hecate herself, I guess. Athena swore Hecate to secrecy about everything, but not Asterion, as he happily pointed out. But does this mean she knows what happened to Calliope there? I'd heard it mentioned a couple of times now that Persephone used to be a gangster. Apparently her eidolon was last passed on to Chastity, the wife of a mobster who she then replaced for a while, at least until Persephone's memories returned. This must have been, what, the 1950s? Pretty crazy to think about. I finally learned a little about what Persephone and the other idols went through during the war. She told me about how Demeter died, how Ares betrayed them to the enemy. Just think, one day you believe you're a god, for real, and the next you realize just how vulnerable you really are. That has to have messed with all their heads, not just Aphrodite's. Finally, I know the whole story about Hades and how Persephone murdered him. You know what? Sounds like he got exactly what he deserved. Probably. So Freddy and I went to the reliquary to do Pansel a favor, and wouldn't you know it, that's where Calliope was attacked. That's where she was before she went to my apartment. That's quite the coincidence, isn't it? Medusa's name came up yet again. Asterion told me she was at the reliquary the night Calliope died, but that's also where she was attacked. He didn't seem to think Medusa did it, because Medusa never got inside the reliquary, and that's where the attack happened, as far as he knows. But her presence there can't be a coincidence. Medusa either did it, or she knows something important about what happened. I'll admit, I'm still surprised she went along with it. My power doesn't make anyone do anything they don't want to, so I guess deep down she wanted love as much as Asterion did. I suppose her book tells her how the relationship turns out in the end, but it doesn't look like it matters to her much. I hope this means she can be happy, at least for a while. Hey, Uncle Buck. And it wasn't all that hard, honestly. I think Hecate was lonely too, and in the end she seemed happy to accept Asterion's hand once she was assured his love for her was real. And it is, I think. It really is. The two of them are ridiculously cute and weird together. Oh, get this. The Asterion who Pan sent me to is none other than the Minotaur. That's right. Half man, half bull, but not really the monster all the stories talk about. Actually, I take that back. He's not a monster at all. He's an adorable, awkward, stuttering pile of man pudding who's hopelessly in love with Hecate, and he's desperate for my help to hook them up. And Pan said that Hecate, goddess of black magic, might be of help in my search. And he was very wrong. Very wrong. What he didn't say was why. She's the giant librarian witch goddess sworn to secrecy about anything related to her extra-dimensional tower fortress thing. Sound weird? That's because it is. And she is, but she's also kind of earnest and cool, too. She knows the future, but will do whatever's supposed to happen because it's supposed to happen. I'll never wrap my head around that. She wasn't going to break her oath to Athena, at any rate, so I had to go along with Asterion's crazy plan to woo her with a song. Alright, and now we talk to Medusa. At long last.
This must be the Viper's Nest. Scariest part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone. Well, I'm here now. Just another day in the life of an idol.
Oh, there you are. Man, this place is the worst. I think someone peed on me.
Freddie? What are you
Grace's
doing here?
face there.
What, you thought I wouldn't notice you skulking off? You didn't even bring any equipment, Grace?
Oh, Grace. I love Grace's expression when Freddy pops up behind her. That was a great face that she made. Anyway.
Freddie, please tell me you don't think you're some kind of adventurer.
I'm sorry. Are you not about to head into a monster's lair at great personal peril? What else would you call that?
You're such a dork. I adore you.
Good, because I'm not about to let you wander in there without backup. Who knows? Maybe the stuff I know about Medusa might actually apply. Well, that'd be a switch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bite. What do you know about Medusa?
Well, you know she was human once, right? And she was cursed?
Apollo mentioned
Athena.
it, yeah.
Cursed by Athena. Or so one of the stories goes, anyway.
But doesn't she work for Athena?
Hey, don't look at me. My knowledge of this stuff stops at a few thousand years ago.
Fair.
She was once human, but she's definitely a monster, right?
Yeah, one of the worst. But, you know, so was the Minotaur.
Asterion said she was scary. I have a feeling she's not like him.
Then I guess you need to be prepared for the possibility that she is as bad as the legends say. Though some of the stories also say that she was wronged by Athena and that what was done to her was an injustice.
And
Agreed.
Athena just follows the rules, right?
She was wrong, but Medusa was done dirty. She got raped, and she's the one who got punished by Athena. Medusa gets raped, and Athena punishes her. Like, that's just... And then... helps a hero to kill her. A hero?
Do you think she actually turns people to stone?
Let's hope not, or this could be a short visit. Or a really, really long one.
I'm serious.
Perseus used a mirror to reflect Medusa's gaze back at her. Oh, maybe you could use your phone.
You think that would work?
Unless you brought a mirror, Grace, it's all you got.
On a side note, I love that she's got a fucking mace. Like, her equipment includes an actual fucking mace. Like, where do you even get one of those? Where do you even buy a mace?
Okay, enough talking. Time to do this.
You have a plan for how we're getting inside, I hope?
Maybe. You're here to help?
Always.
Then I have a plan.
I'm curious what the best approach to this is. It looks like it doesn't really make a difference. Alright, so yeah, doesn't really make a difference which option I choose, it looks like. So, anyone have any preferences? I'm thinking distraction. Though confronting the enforcer seems fun too. Just going up and be like, hey, bitch face, let me in.
Hi, this is where the comic convention is, right? I hope I'm not too late for the signing.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you had the wrong address.
What?
Oh, he's nice.
No. Oh, God. No. No, that can't be right. Do you understand the indignities that I have endured? The weird looks, the body odors. Someone spilled coffee all over my cosplay outfit. No, do not tell me that I got it wrong. I spent $50 on this ticket. I demand my personal photo.
Oh, Freddy. I love Freddy. And I love how uncomfortable that the dude got. He's a nice man. He's a nice guy. He's an enforcer, but he seems to be a nice guy.
What a long day, hiding in the light. Such a long day, dreaming of tonight. This sacred bite. Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh, it's the muse. There are sacred bites, and then there's this sacred bite.
She's scary, but I like her. May as well mention here, I guess is a good time to mention. Medusa is voiced by Anjali Bhimani. Nina Patel on Modern Family. Apparently she was in Marvel's Runaways. Oh, Symmetra. She voices Symmetra in Overwatch. Miriam Landisman on Underwood. Or Undeadwood. Undeadwood. Aunt Ruby on the Ms. Marvel TV show. Lots of bit parts. She's done a lot of bit parts here and there. Who was she in Runaways? Mita Nansari. Okay. Jordan! Welcome, Jordan. You came in just in time for a musical number with Medusa. Also, happy early birthday. Honestly, yeah, let's just...
Before you start the show, Pam said to say hello. That's what he said to say.
Well, any friend of Pan's is a friend of Pan's.
Clever.
Okay. I hate to interrupt your flow. There's just some things I need to know. I wish there was another way.
Yes, you do. Now, look into me.
She's kinda hot. Not gonna lie. Scary, but kinda cool. Like kinda hot.
What'd you say, Grace? You okay, Grace? Where's the game face this time? You are currently experiencing something I like to call the preparation. Any questions or comments? That's right, it is widely known that I can turn folks to stone. But oh, I won't this time. Cause this time I find dine that oozy musy bloods my wine this time. Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey, look into me.
Saw hunger with no end. You lost Medusa. Unless you find a friend.
What I should do.
Can be a
Look at me.
Good song.
Athena made you like this.
She was mad at me. So,
Well, why was she mad?
she said I'd been bad.
Had you been?
No. Now look into me.
Listen, Medusa. She hides you in shame, but she uses you all the same. You could live another way. If I was treated like you, I'd be a monster too.
Friendship.
That's kind to say, but you could never be a creature like me. You didn't kill
Calliope. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
No,
Yes, you do know. You know, does that mean Athena knows?
no. Okay. It's dinner time. You're not gonna watch? Fine, grace.
Don't you see, Medusa? You are just her tool. Your queen's a user. Your Athena's feet will be slightly tougher. She's a friend, but you're really we can get you free.
You said to me,
Persephone can get you free.
so free.
Is that a yes?
That's amazing.
Good enough? Maybe is good enough?
Maybe what? Did I miss something?
Is she serious?
That depends. What do you think, Medusa? Will you help me out?
Oh, fine. Fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
It's a good song. I like the combative nature of that song. Also, I like that I won her over with offers of friendship. Friending my way to the top. Oh, yeah.
You were at the reliquary the night Calliope was murdered. I want to know why.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed pretty Calliope to the reliquary. I never spoke to her, never even caught up to her. I swear it.
That's what Asterion told us, more or less.
But you were there that night.
Yes, I admit it. Ugh, Lady Athena will have my head. She'll mount it on a pike.
Or a shield, more
Whatever
likely.
you might think of me, I had no part in the muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
Do we believe her?
You followed Calliope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calliope has been trouble from time to time.
So you were spying on her.
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calliope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
Okay. Seems believable.
Did you ever find out why Calliope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the muse fleeing. She was frightened, bloodied, dying.
Let me guess, that made you hungry.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't
Yep.
learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
Yeah.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
She doesn't know him
He
well.
killed Hecate's cat by accident. But this still seems hard to believe.
Yes, I only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone. She did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me.
So if Medusa's telling the truth, then we still have no idea what the
You
hell
haven't
happened.
told Athena any of this? You agreed to help, remember?
I told her Calliope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
No, I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely tolerates my presence as it is. If she thought I was involved in any way, if she even suspected.
Yeah. That's believable.
Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I agreed to help you. I speak the truth.
Right, and not at all trying to cover your own ass.
You presented an opportunity. Oh, to taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have.
Uh-huh.
Well, what of Pan? The only reason I knew Calliope was going to the reliquary is because he informed me.
Oh, that was hilarious. It's a problem. I've been working on it. That's great. Great delivery as well. Just sounds so defensive about it.
So much for never lying to me.
What were the odds, honestly?
Let's put a pin in that for the moment, shall we?
I am a monster. It's true. I do not deny it. It's still, I did not kill the muse.
Okay, let's say we believe you. For the moment.
I've told you everything I know. We have a bargain. You said my curse might be lifted.
Hey, I'll ask Persephone. That's all I can do.
Whatever you do, pretty muse, I beg you. Do not tell Athena of my indiscretion. Show mercy. I
Yeah.
know what I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be cursed like this.
Yeah, Athena could be pretty fucking horrible in the myths.
Whether I tell Athena depends. Have you done this before?
Well,
Don't you think Athena should know what her spy master is like?
No, she cannot. I am a lost and cursed thing. No idol. If Lady Athena should learn the truth...
I feel bad for her, so.
I hope you find what you seek, pretty muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
So yeah, now the question is, do we believe her? Snake Charmer. She was a victim too. Aw.
He knew. Right from the start, Pan knew Calliope was there that night.
Yeah, and who could have foreseen that he was lying to you the entire time? Who, I ask you, a mystery even the Oracle couldn't have penetrated.
Oh. Oh, Freddy. I'm still wondering, why do you have a mace? How? Where, like, where did she buy a fucking... And, like, she had to have had that already. She has a mace, like, she keeps a mace. She didn't get that, like, last minute. That wasn't something where she was like, oh, we got something to do. I'm going to pop down to the Walmart and get a mace. No, she had to have bought that in advance. Because, I mean, that's not something you find for sale. There's no stores that just stock maces. That's something you got to get, like, special. Like, that's something you got to order online. Like, there's online stores that do that. Like, that's something you have to order. So she ordered a mace at some point.
It just doesn't make sense. Pan sent me to the reliquary. If he's involved, why would he do that?
I don't know. Guilt, maybe? Anyhow, you probably have a few questions for Mr. Goatman. I'll see you at home.
I don't think that Pan does guilt. Like, he doesn't seem like the type to feel... He doesn't seem like the type to feel guilt for his own actions. For his own decisions. If he was tricked or forced into something that he didn't want to do, that he might feel guilt about. But...
Would you really have tried to burn Medusa's face off? With an aerosol can?
Hell yeah! One hint of googly eyes and...
What would I do without you?
You'll never need to answer that question, Grace.
Aw, they're such a couple. They're so in love.
Oh, if it isn't, the lovely Grace?
You knew. Right from the start, you knew Calliope was there that night.
Well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked. I told you I didn't know what happened to Calliope, and that's the truth. I did not. So I nudged you in the right direction.
He's been playing her the whole time. He has, but he's... Like I said, he's not... He doesn't say anything that's not true. Everything he says is true. There's just a lot that he doesn't say. He's just very selective with what he chooses to say. Which is kind of like... Which is actually almost like the most dangerous type of manipulation. Because, like, with somebody who just lies, you know not to trust them. Like, you just know anything they say, you have to take with a grain of salt. You have to be like, might be true, might be false. But with somebody who's selectively honest, what you end up having to wonder about is, what are they not saying?
So you were what? Just trying to be helpful? You still aren't telling me something.
What possible reason would I have to...
Tell me, right now.
Medusa learned that Calliope was going to the reliquary because I told her. Now, before you say anything, I had no idea of the fate awaiting our dear muse. And you yourself said Medusa was not responsible. I simply had to know if I'd inadvertently, rather innocently...
Sold her out? She came to you for help, and you gave her whereabouts to the highest bidder.
I am trying to help, Grace. In my way.
Selectively vague.
What do you mean,
Yep.
in my way? What way is that?
The way where I don't take all the blame.
I love that. I really love that stuttering over what way is that. That is such natural, like, that is such naturalistic dialogue there. Also, the way where I don't take all the blame. Fair. That's, yep. Fair. I will give you credit on that, Pam.
What else will I discover, Pan? I'd rather learn it now than later.
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do.
He's not terribly useful. I'd intended to go to Medusa alone, but of course Freddy showed up, all kitted up like an adventurer. Should I be thankful she wants to help, or should I be worried that she's not taking the idol seriously enough? Yes. Medusa corroborated Asterian's story. She followed Calliope to the reliquary, saying she fled there, having already been attacked. It's bizarre, though. What was she even doing there? If Medusa isn't lying to me, I'm left with Hecate and the Minotaur being the only other idols with access to the reliquary. Either that or there was a third person who somehow got in and out undetected. Is this even possible for me to find out? Or am I stuck now? I confronted Pan about the key. He didn't deny giving it to Calliope. What's more, he admitted that he told Medusa where Calliope went right after she left. He sold her out. He claims he didn't know what happened to her at the reliquary, that he sent me to find out. But can I believe him? I mean, if he says he doesn't know, he probably doesn't. That doesn't mean he doesn't have suspicions. Medusa isn't an idol, I'm told. She's an immortal creature, one who used to be mortal until she was cursed by Athena, unfairly, which appears to be a theme. She accompanies the idols to survive, working for Athena in return for their aid. The turning people to stone thing? Totally real. Except sometimes she just paralyzes them instead, so she can eat them. Her curse includes an insatiable hunger, I guess, and I almost got to experience it firsthand. Yikes. Medusa more or less corroborated what Asterian told us. She followed Calliope to the reliquary the night she died. Why? Because Calliope is sometimes trouble, so Medusa keeps an eye on her for Athena. Medusa claims she didn't kill her, that Calliope fled the reliquary having already been stabbed. But by who? Assuming Medusa isn't lying through her pointy teeth. She could have chased after Calliope, eager to chow down on her, and Calliope just got away. Medusa seems more terrified of Athena blaming her than anything, though. Her fear feels so real. So I think she's telling the truth. Who do you think it was? I mean...
Back again so soon, Grace? You're practically a regular at the club. Did you end up finding Medusa? Or did she vanish the moment you came near, like she does with every other idol?
She definitely did not vanish. Maybe I better explain what happened.
I knew it. We never should have brought that monster to the New World. Athena's a fool to think Medusa can be controlled. You're fortunate to have made it out in one piece. It could have gone very poorly for you.
You're right. I should have brought you to protect little old defenseless me.
Ah. If I'd gone, you would have found nothing more than an empty building, I assure you.
Because you're so big and scary.
I'm glad you appreciate my finer qualities.
I do appreciate
At any
them.
rate, Medusa might be in the clear. Pan, however, is not.
Good
I
night,
don't imagine
Killface.
you've confronted him yet.
He admitted to selling out Calliope, but not to killing her. I don't know if I can believe him.
Nor I. Pan would do anything to save his own skin. Allow me some time to consider our next move. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
No,
Want to make
not
out?
really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Why can't I ask her to make out? Stupid choice-based games never give the choice you really want. Why can't I ask Persephone if she wants to make out? Let me make out with my big scary girlfriend. Or big scary, hopefully girlfriend.
Oh, hi, Grace. I can just call you Grace, right?
That's my name. Where's Freddie?
She went out to get snacks. We were gonna watch TV while we waited, but, well, here you are.
Wait a minute. Are Hermes and Freddy becoming besties behind my back? Because I'm fine with it. Hermes seems like a kind of a cinnamon roll. So,
What, you and Freddie are friends now? When did this happen?
When I came looking for you, Friday has this movie that I've never seen. Super cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you rather not share your mortal friends? Anyway, I guess Athena wants to talk? I can zip us over to Olympus anytime, if you're free.
So this is what you do? Ferry people around?
I'm the god of messengers, baby.
Yep.
Travelers, doorways, any kind of transition, really. The
Yep.
old Hermes said that the transition part made even more sense for me, which, extra cool, right?
aw.
Yeah, that's true.
Aw, that's a
I
cute
can
touch.
connect any two doorways anywhere, just like that. So it's super easy to take people wherever. I don't mind.
You mentioned the old Hermes a lot. You knew him?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while. It wasn't a great time, and he took me in.
That's an all too common story.
Everyone's on the same journey, he used to say. Only the roads are different.
Sounded
And then
wise.
he went on his journey. Man, I still miss him every day.
Wait, isn't he still inside you? Aren't you kind of the same person now?
Not yet. It's only been a year. Maybe I'll feel him again one day. That'd be nice.
Aw.
You say it's easy, but do you like doing all these errands?
I mean,
Huh. Yeah,
Gig
I never
economy.
thought about it. It's nice to have a purpose. Athena is super sweet, and she has a big, important job. Why wouldn't I want to help her out?
You can't be this nice. Are you for real?
Oh, well, the old Hermes used to say that a willingness to serve is more important than a willingness to be served.
I mean, whether Hermes likes it or not, it's the gig economy, right? He doesn't have a choice. He's got he's... Or they. It's the gig economy. They don't have much of a choice. They gotta take the jobs where they can get them.
Do I have a choice about seeing Athena? I'm not in the habit of being at anyone's beck and call.
I mean, I guess you could say no, but I wouldn't. If Athena wants something, she's gonna get it eventually. She had that look in her eyes, like she really wants to talk to you.
She could always come here. Everyone else does.
Athena entered the mortal world? And now she doesn't do that ever. Can you imagine?
How does Athena manage never entering the mortal world?
She doesn't have to, I guess. Everyone brings her everything she needs. And that creepy owl of hers? Apollo says it's her eyes out in the world. It's everywhere. Watching.
So what, she
Creepy.
just never leaves the building?
She'll go to the reliquary and places like that. Just never where mortals are. She wears a toga and calls cars iron horses.
Wow. Wow, so she's old. Iron horses. Wow, Athena. I go back to the apartment, and who's there waiting for me? Hermes. Not because they entered through some magic portal, though. Freddy let them in. She and Hermes are, what, pals now? That's weird, right? Did I say Hermes was suspicious? I talked to them a bit at the apartment, and honestly they seem like the least suspicious idol of them all so far. earnest, always eager to help. The world could use another Hermes or two. See, that's too suspicious now. That makes me suspicious. The least suspicious person is always the one you need to suspect. Unless, depending on how much time is left in the story. You know, like the least suspicious person, always the one you should suspect the most, depending on how much time is left. You know, how many pages are left in the book, how much time is left in the movie, whatever. Because, I mean, at some point there's gonna be, you know, if there's still plenty of time left, then you'll get a red herring. Like, if there's something, don't kill the mister. Like, if you find a clue that points to the least suspicious person, you have to know how much time is left to know whether it's a red herring. If you're right near the end of the story and you get that clue, then they're probably the one responsible. But if there's still, like, you know, a quarter of the story left, a quarter of the book left, you know, if there's still, like, 60 pages left, 45 minutes left, whatever, then it might be a red herring. But even then, you know, it might be, like, it's, you know, it seems like a red herring, and then as they, other clues come to somebody else, and then it turns out that no, it was that person. What I'm saying is I have no idea.
I suppose there's no point in putting it off. Do your thing. Take me to Olympus.
Okay. Oh, when you see Freddy, tell her I'm sorry I couldn't stick around for the movie. And mind if I say something?
Sure.
You've changed. I mean, from the person I met when I first came here. When, you know, you got it together really quick.
Not much choice.
Thanks, I guess.
It wasn't the owl. I mean, you never know. Could have been the owl. Oh, hey, get to pick, I can't pick clever again? Huh. Interesting, I can't pick clever again. I wonder if it's because I already picked it, maybe? I'm gonna go with charming now.
There you are, Grace. Do have a seat.
I prefer to stand, thanks.
As you like.
Any cookies this time?
You've certainly been busy, haven't you? Everywhere I turn, there you are. Including the reliquary.
Oh.
I'm uncertain how you got access, but even you must have realized its off limits. Particularly for your mortal friend.
Okay, but she and Hecate are friends now. Hecate invited her back for more tea. You know what? That's Hecate's place, and Hecate is cool with Freddy, so tough shit, Athena.
But you know what happened there. That's where Calliope was attacked.
Yet it's not where she died, Grace, is it?
So because she made it all the way to my apartment, we shouldn't care why she was bleeding to death along the way.
You think our judgment was rash? It was. In truth, I worried that giving you time, letting us all get to know you, would make it harder in the end. I am sorry, Grace. You may not believe it, but I care deeply.
I care about what happens to you and to all the idols.
That's concerning. Yeah, it kind of seems like she doesn't... that she's not terribly interested in finding the truth.
Do you really? Let's explore where all that caring has gotten them, shall we? You're holding on with a grip so tight, your knuckles are turning white. But that's not enough, is it? Every idol I've met is either lost or broken, or both. They're all slipping through your fingers.
Yep.
If you actually cared about them, you'd do something about it instead of sitting up here worrying about your precious rules.
Probably heard that from Calliope.
Zeus was the first to leave. King of the gods. And we don't even know what became of him. Vanished into the ether. Poseidon was next. Walked out into the seas, never to be heard from again. Ares betrayed us. Hephaestus saved us. Hades was murdered, and by one of our own. The list goes on.
Yeah. I mean, that would be rough, just seeing everyone, all your entire family just...
All of that sounds terrible, but I don't understand what...
We are dying, Grace. I don't mean diminishing or drifting apart. I mean our immortality is disappearing. Very soon now, the idols will be no more. We are a legacy that spans millennia, dating back to the very dawn of humankind. So yes, I care. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid that fate, even if it appears unfair.
Okay, so I do get to keep both. I do get to keep my clever as well. So yeah, I mean that's rough. I mean,
You feel responsible, don't you? For everything.
I am responsible. Aphrodite wallows in her pain, Apollo in his regrets, and Persephone in her bitterness. Every other idol of power is gone.
So there's only you. You have to shoulder the burden for everyone, like it or not. I'm sorry, Athena.
So she does.
I had no idea.
They won't thank me for it. I know we've put a great deal on your shoulders, Grace. I do. All I called you here to ask is that you please not make my job more difficult than it already is. If you have any other questions or concerns, now's the time to bring them up.
Can I have another cookie? Can I ask if I can have a cookie?
Who has access to the reliquary? Is it anyone with a key, or...
Does it matter? You gained access, so clearly it is not difficult to get. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'll tell me who gave you that key.
I'm not going to sell Pan out. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted to sell Pan out, honestly. Because he's a manipulative dick, but...
The same person gave it to me, who gave it to Calliope.
And who gave it to Calliope, then? I see.
Speaking of the reliquary, you went there, right? Once Hecate told you what happened?
Yeah, I was not impressed by the delay.
If you had known about that, the night Calliope died, Would it have made a difference?
The chances are exceedingly small that you attacked her there, it's true. Yet, Calliope was weakened, which made her more vulnerable prey for an enterprising mortal. One she knew. Perhaps the incidents are connected, perhaps not. I cannot afford the risk of uncertainty, Grace. I'm sorry.
Harsh?
What do you know of Pan?
Pan? That's not a name I expected to hear. Been sniffing around you, has he?
I have some suspicions, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Pan lurks at the edges because he likes it there, seeking out whatever profit he thinks he can get away with. Avoid him, dear, or he'll stick to you like gum to the bottom of your shoe.
I'm surprised that she'd get that. Considering she still calls cars iron horses, glued to the bottom of your shoe seems like an unusually modern reference to me.
Okay, so you don't like Pan much.
Or contemporary.
I get that. But do you think he could kill someone?
We've all killed, my dear. I was once a warrior queen, feared by mortals and gods alike.
Another idol, I mean.
Is that where your investigation has led you? To Pan?
It was Freddy? I mean, probably not.
Sort of, but I feel like I'm missing something important. Maybe the goddess of wisdom could help me out?
It would be helpful to know what Calliope was doing at the reliquary, but she's not available to ask. Not until you regain her memories, at least.
Why not put off the trial until then? Seems like a good way to solve all this. Yeah?
And trust what you decide to share? I think not.
Hey.
Alright, let's talk about Medusa.
Met her, have you?
Is it true you can't remove her curse? Or is she just too useful?
I wish I could remove the curse. I'm afraid the Athena who bestowed it is long gone. She was prideful, that Athena. As prideful as she was powerful, I'm ashamed to say.
The current Athena is responsible for everything she's done.
I am well aware, Grace. What is it that you would have me do, exactly?
They wore sandals. They did. And when was chewing gum invented? That seems like maybe not much more than... Chewing gum seems like it's probably not that much older than cars. Right? Like, chewing gum can't be that much older than cars. Shit, maybe even more recent. Never mind. Never mind. 5,000-year-old chewing gum has been found in Finland. So never mind when I say that chewing gum seems recent. Chewing gum is genuinely ancient. Been around since ancient times, different cultures use different deals. I was just looking that up, Vanna, thanks. Ancient Greeks chewed mastiche to freshen their breath. Mayans chewed chicle to quench thirst or fight hunger. Yeah, I was just looking at earliest gum 5,000 years, Neolithic. So yeah, so gum is actually very old. Never mind. So
How about you stop treating her like a servant? Maybe send her somewhere she won't be tempted all the time.
Oh, well, if you happen to hear of a diet camp for man-eating monsters, by all means, do let me know. Now, if there isn't anything else...
wow. I mean, not wrong, but... Goddess of wisdom and sarcasm, apparently.
I guess I'll get back to my investigation.
I am rooting for you, Grace. If there's another way to resolve this, any way at all, I will take it.
Will you? Really?
Good luck. Feel free to take a cookie on your way out.
I love the cookie offer. I love the author of a
Don't
cookie.
take it personally, Grace. Athena's first instinct is to follow the rules whenever things get rough. As if she believes that if the idols don't blindly follow every rule to the letter, we'll dissolve into utter chaos.
Well, is she right?
Probably.
I like that Persephone is like sarcastic and dismissive of Athena, and then like, yeah, she's probably right. She treats us like we can't handle living on our own. Can you? No, but that's not the point.
I do have sympathy for her. She feels like she's the only one fighting to keep the idols alive.
She may be.
She kind of sounds like my mother.
If the idols had a mother, it would be Athena. Yes, like it or not.
Wasn't the goddess Hera kind of like everyone's mother?
Goodness, no. I meant a mother who was actually concerned for the welfare of her children.
Yeah, Hera
At any
was
rate,
awful.
I'm afraid we're going to have to disappoint her again.
Uh-oh, what now?
You need to go back to the reliquary, Grace.
There won't be tea, though. I'm honestly disappointed that Grace didn't take a cookie. She should have angrily grabbed a cookie. You know, like, that would have just been really funny if she's just like... Fine. I'll take your cookie. But I do love the offer of a cookie. It's like, solve the murder or I'll kill you. Have a cookie. You're running out of time to clear your name before we execute you. Have a cookie.
You know, Athena said something to me. That it'd be nice to know what Calliope was doing there in the first place.
And she's correct.
It's the only piece of the puzzle we're missing. Calliope went there because she had a plan. But what plan?
If she left clues behind, wouldn't Hecate have found them already?
That's a really good question.
We can't ask Calliope what her plan was. But you might be able to remember what she was doing there.
Her memories? But I thought...
That it will take years, yes. But if you go somewhere important to Calliope, or touch something special to her, you'll get flashes, feelings.
Do you want Grace to go to the reliquary so she can have deja vu?
I'm willing to wager the place Calliope met her fate has left its mark in Grace's psyche. We have only to uncover it.
Are you sure about this? You want me to wander around hoping something comes to me?
I do know something about how memories work after the transition, but no, I'm not certain. You want certainty? Wait until your trial. Without discovering more, the outcome of that is certain.
What if Medusa is lying? What about Pan? We could look into him some more, couldn't we?
Oh, my, you're just full of ideas, aren't you? Do you have any suggestions regarding how we might go about doing that?
Deja vu it is.
Let's say I do this. What am I hoping to find?
Some memory of who attacked Calliope, or why she was there. Anything we could work with. I've spoken to almost all the idols, and every single one says they hadn't seen or heard from her. If she was keeping to herself, then why now? What started this? We're missing something important, Grace.
What if Grace goes there and the memory she sees is that she attacked Calliope? A Grace from the future. It'd be a twist.
Freddy, you're usually very useful. You're usually very helpful. Normally, you're very helpful, Freddy. That was not helpful. That was the opposite of helpful.
Is there really no other way? This seems a bit desperate.
That's because
Yeah.
we are desperate, Grace. Either we take this shot at learning the truth, or we overthrow Athena and the chorus by force, and disregard this stupid trial.
She's joking, right?
Nope.
She's joking, right?
What is Ode to Freddy? It was a really stupid poem that I wrote back when I back in high school. I genuinely don't remember it. But yeah, high school, I was in like a creative writing class in high school, and we had to write an ode. The one I wrote did not go over well with the class. For what it's worth, Chantal thought it was funny. Yeah, I don't have any of the stuff I wrote in high school, so I don't actually have the poem. So I have no idea what it was. Hey, Marbles. What was it? Oh, and it's just this sarcastic. It's just this comedic based ode. I think the final line was "Eat a salad, fatty" or something like that. I genuinely don't remember anything about it, but it was mean spirited. I mean, the thing was a fat joke, so it was low hanging fruit, and so I'm not proud of the fact that I wrote it. It was a shitty poem. Even at the time, I knew it was a shitty poem, but I don't know how to fucking write. I've never known how to write poems.
Last time Freddy and I were there, Hecate wouldn't let us into the reliquary. Not without Athena's permission.
I'm certainly not suggesting we ask Athena for permission.
Then you mean...
A week ago, I would have said breaking into the reliquary was impossible. Yet it appears Hecate can be surprised. If her book says she will be.
Let's hope the book says that again, I guess.
Unless you've some other plan. I'm all ears, as they say.
What about the alarms? I'm not eager to have Asterion chasing me through the fog.
Calliope snuck in without setting off any alarms. At least at first.
Well, I'll be following in Calliope's footsteps, won't I? What if I follow the wrong footstep and set them off?
Then they discover you and we apologize profusely.
Will not be a good look, though, just saying.
Right then.
Yeah, not a lot of choices.
Back to the reliquary it is.
Any idea how you want to do this, Grace? Because I'm game to help.
Cool. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I can't go in with you. Hecate would sense me right away. I will, however, stay close by. If anything happens, I'll come. Hecate won't stop me. The Minotaur won't stop me. Nothing will.
Well, okay. That's, hot.
Gosh, it almost seems like you care.
Ugh, can we just get on with this already?
Sorry, Freddy. My two love interests, almost had a fight. We are at 2 hours, so this does seem like a good... Maybe not, I can't really... Alright, guess we're continuing. I mean, I'm kind of down... Honestly, I kind of want to have Freddy distract Hecate. What was the reaction? Oh, it was dead silence. The reaction was just dead fucking silence. I can also be honest with her. That honestly seems like, Thing is, if I'm trying to follow in Calliope's footsteps, this feels like the most... Yeah, if I'm trying to follow in Calliope's footsteps, she would have snuck in the back way. So let's try the back way. Even if Freddy distracting Hecate, this one sounds like it would be adorable. I do really love the Hecate-Freddy friendship.
Wait, are you sure this is right? Was that the right door?
You're asking me like I'm supposed to know?
It just feels like we're back outside again. Maybe that was some kind of portal or...
Or maybe we're right where we're supposed to be.
This place, it's amazing. Is this all inside the tower? How can that be?
Says
correct.
the last of the muses standing in the demi-plane, probably created by the goddess of witchcraft.
How do we avoid getting lost? It's like a labyrinth.
Oh, it is a labyrinth, but I've never had any trouble finding my way around. Hey, easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, no need to freak out. I'm a guardian, sure, but I'm not a monster. But,
That's true.
Yeah, you know you're not supposed to be in here, right?
This game we can choose from. Yeah. I mean, it's a visual novel. It is a visual novel, so it is... I mean, it's not really like... It's choose how you address situations. Like, it's a set path that you're going in, but you choose how to handle the situations that come up.
I need this, Asterion. I have to figure out what Calliope did here. Please, can't you just let us look around?
Oh, it's just... Kate would be so mad.
She knows you're the sweetest, most thoughtful bullman there is. She'd understand.
I want to, but...
I'd really appreciate it.
I need to bring you back to Kate. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Hey! Come back! Oi, come back!
Well, that didn't work.
Okay. I don't hear anything. I think I'm alright. I hope Freddy's okay. She better be.
Oh, she'll be fine.
First things first, how do I do this? Where do I even start? Calliope must have been here. She could have stood in this very spot. Maybe if I just... focus.
Not often I reach beauty climax online, but when I do, it's during a visual novel. Thinks of silver play button and eyes roll into head.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I've definitely been here before.
List of items.
Is this an armory, too?
More likely just a, I mean, that was probably Poseidon's.
I don't get any feeling from that. Will I know it when I see it?
Promising?
Is that a weapon? A musical instrument? Maybe it's both.
It's magic. That's a creepy mask.
What did Freddy say about mazes? Was it always go left? Or go left and then go right?
It's a library or some shit. Yeah, I mean, this part is a bunch of books in it. Yeah, this particular spot would be like preserving items. Golden apple.
Freddy, are you out there? Can you hear me? What am I doing? All that'll do is tell everyone where I am.
On a side note, for mazes, the way to handle mazes is to just pick a direction and follow the wall. You'll get out eventually. It might take forever, but just pick a direction, handle the wall, just follow that wall. Would I ever take Spicy Pixelstone for the internet? I mean, if they asked me to, I might.
They should really charge for tours. It's kind of amazing. I don't even know what language that is. Shouldn't that be in a museum somewhere?
I mean, this basically is a museum.
This is it. Calliope was here. She was standing right here. And she... Uh-oh.
That's unsettling. Trying for 10 days to understand how words appear in the mirror.
Hello? Do you work for Hecate? Are you guardians or something?
I'm starting to think maybe not.
Okay then.
Ooh, is this going to be... Oh. Nope. No musical battle. I was hoping it might be a
What's
musical
happening?
thing.
Why didn't it work?
Hannah in the mirror. I wonder if those... Festivals?
Oh! Grace? Freddy! We've got to run! My powers don't work on them, they just keep coming!
Uh-oh. I might have gotten Freddy into some trouble. Yeah, they seem like automatons. Maybe made by Hephaestus? Hey now. What?
Freddy!
Apparently I chose the wrong path. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hecate, I'm gonna need help.
Oh god. Oh god, Freddy!
By the gods.
You summoned the Furies.
Oh.
What?
Those beings were the Furies, beyond all our laws. Not idols, but the embodiment of retribution. How did you draw them here?
I didn't. There was a big mirror, but I didn't even touch it.
There is only one mirror of which you could be speaking. That used by the goddess Nyx to contact the Fates. Using the mirror would not have brought the Furies down upon you. Not unless the Fates themselves decreed it.
Yeah, okay, could you help my friend? Yeah, could you help my girlfriend here?
I don't care what brought them. They killed Freddy. You need to help her.
I have no power over life and death, Grace. None of us have that.
Well, damn.
This was no defense or spell of the reliquaries. I do not have the power to summon the Furies, and I know none who do. You should consider yourself fortunate, Grace. They do not desist until retribution has been exacted. But now is when you leave. Pray the knowledge you obtained was worth the price.
I should have had Freddy distract Hecate. I clearly should have had Freddy distracting Hecate.
No, I'm not leaving Freddy. Not like this. All this magic. There has to be something. Don't tell me there's no way to undo this.
Come. There's nothing more to be done.
Alright, well, on that incredibly downer note, it's a good place to end for tonight, I guess. For this week. I feel really bad now. So I'm gonna go cry now. Poor Freddy. I just got Freddy killed. I just got my best friend killed. I was really hoping to get more than... Damn. So, I'm gonna go cry. And we'll pick up from this next week. So, good night, everybody.